Hello, guys. I hope you can hear me. It seems every time I want to do a video outside on my back porch because it's feeling like fake fall right now in Florida. My neighbors want to come out and do stuff. Let's see if we can get us a better view besides my tape over there from where my cat scratches the screen and my husband has to repair it. So I don't think the cat did that one though. I think that came from something else. All right, y'all. Enough. I digress. What are we really here for? The meat. The meat. All right, let's try to make this short and sweet, but also very meaningful. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. This is Transparently Living for His Glory. And the reason why I gave it that name is because I just want to live transparently with y'all, but while living for the Lord. I could not, you know how they say you have to like make your channel have a niche. I don't really have a niche because I'm like all over the place with a whole bunch of stuff. Like I like essential oils and herbs, and I like cooking. And I won't be making any cooking videos because y'all are not gonna get me in the comments because I'm a messy cook, but a clean cook, if that makes sense. But I'm not a YouTube cook because I have stuff everywhere and I don't measure. So I won't be doing cooking videos, but those are things I like to do. I like to do cooking and taking care of my home. I was a stay-at-home mom for 21 years, and I am just returning back to the workforce. Um, I just got too much going on to be just have one thing to talk about all the time. So right now we're going to talk about me returning to nursing after 21 years. Y'all, I was home since I had my daughter Raven, who is 21. She'll be 22 in January. I went on maternity leave like 2 weeks before she was born, and I'm now going back to work. Oh, not an AC want to kick in. I hope y'all can still hear me because I got my microphone on. I'm checking to make sure I got it on. Yes, it says I have it on, so hopefully y'all can hear me. So anyhow, 21 years is a long time to be home. I started out as a nurse years ago. We have 4 kids. I worked with my older 2 daughters while they were in school. I was working. My son was born, and that changed everything. He had to have heart surgery when he was 3. He had a PDA closure, and we didn't want to send him to school because of the risk of infection. And so homeschooling we began when Raven I did her from kindergarten all the way to just recently, like 2 years ago. And then I finished up my son last year. And so as I reflected on my life, it's really an adjustment, y'all. Going from a stay-at-home mom who homeschooled to now going back into the workforce, not full-time, no, just part-time. I'm going back part-time. I don't want to work over 24 hours a week. Sometimes I can because they're 12s, so I don't want to be out of the house any more than 3 days a week. Y'all, the birds, the AC, the neighbors, I hope y'all can hear me. But I do not want to be out of the house more than 3 days a week because I'm still a homemaker. I know that word is out there everywhere, but a homemaker is essentially someone who makes the home. It is important to me, even though my children are all adults now. 2 of them still live here as young adults. And my husband, of course, is here, and I'm here. It's important to me to still manage my home, make nutritious meals when I can, keep the house clean and organized, and all of those things because a homemaker is my heart. Going back to work is just helping my husband to like get us debt free. We have goals. We want to work hard maybe for the next 5 years, 5 to 6 years, because we're not 50. I'm 50. He'll be 54 this year. I'll be 51. By the time we hit 60, we just want to be 100%. Our prayer is that we're 100% in for the Lord and His ministry and whatever He has. Now we're 100% in, but we still have debt. That's why He's like, don't be a slave to the lender. Yes, because it can affect what you want to do for the Lord versus, uh, what you could do for Him when you don't have any debt. We have to work. We have a mortgage. We will probably need cars soon because both of our cars are 10 years and older. My husband's is knocking on 15 years and mine is 10. So we might need cars, but hopefully we can save up cash to pay for cars. Hopefully our cars, we maintain those well, enough so that we can not have to buy cars for a minute. And they're Hondas, so they kind of go forever. Anyhow, a homemaker I will always be, and sometimes, yes, I will cook after my 12-hour shift. It was so funny because I came home the other day and I came home and I had a chicken thawed out and I wanted to roast it. And I was like, somebody just make us a veggie. I put potatoes and, um, I might put a picture in this video, but I made sweet potatoes and I cut up sweet potatoes, cleaned them, cut them up, leave the skin on because we like them rustic. Put everything in a cast iron skillet with the chicken. Thyme. I put some thyme on it, some fresh thyme from the garden, some fresh rosemary from the garden. Cut up some red onions. Seasoned the chicken really well. Drizzled it with maple syrup, y'all. Put it in the oven. Took a shower and sat down. I was so exhausted after I did that. My husband came over, served me my food like a queen, even though he works full time. Served me my food like a queen, and I ate and went to sleep because I had to get right back up and go again. But y'all, the Lord is so faithful to me in this because I worked before this at Publix like 4 hours a week, for like 2.5 years just to get me back into working. I had my little cousin. We were going to adopt her. We had her since she was about 3 weeks old, and then the Lord said no to that. We gave her back to her mom at 3. Well, the state gave her back to her mom at 3. And so I was like, I can't sit in this house. So I went and got a job at Publix. That's a whole nother video. But I literally, y'all, had so much favor at Publix. I could choose my hours when I wanted to work, how I wanted to work. I was spoiled. And in that spoiling, I was kind of afraid to go out and find a nursing job because I know you can be flexible with nursing, but still not as flexible as I was at Publix. Well, I prayed to the Lord that He would give me a job where I can still be a mom, a wife. Let me reverse that. A wife, a mom, a homemaker to my family, but also come alongside my husband and help him in a different way in this season. And I put in a lot of applications, and there is a nursing shortage, but most of them want full-time nurses. So this particular job that I'm working at right now, I did ask a friend of mine that I had worked with right before I had Raven. She's still a nurse too. Where should I go? Where should I go work? Where are you working at now? Where should I apply? And she said this one particular place is called the Addington. And I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's called the Addington. And she said they need good nurses there. Why don't you go there? Well, so that's where I felt the Lord was leading me after I had, did my application, and I went there and I interviewed and I hit it off with the director of nurses, assistant director of nurses. And the job was for part-time, 12 hours, which is what I want because I want to do 2 days out of the house, 3 max, no more, like if I can get some extra time in. But when I finished, the interview went well. I was hired instantly, and the HR called me and she wanted to offer me the position, but PRN. And I was like, Lord, I feel like this is where I need to be. I feel like this is where you're leading me to be. And PRN can be kind of fishy, right? PRN can be like this. If you work every time we ask you to, then we'll offer you some PRN hours. But if you are not that type of person that can be so flexible for us, to us, and work for our company, we may not call you. But I was like, Lord, she said part time. The HR said PRN. So I was like kind of unsettled in my heart, but the Lord just gave me peace. It was weird. I called my husband and I told him, and he was even like, PRN, is this the job you think God is leading you? I thought we said no PRN, we wanted part time. Part time's different. Part time is you can get a schedule and you can sometimes get a fixed schedule, which is nice when you do part time. And that way you can plan and know what you're going to do. And I want to be able to plan and know what I'm going to do for my family. Um, and know my availability for my family and for my church. So, long story short, I came home and started looking at the other jobs I applied for because I said, well, maybe this is not what the Lord has for me. So I tried another job. They looked at my application, went in for an interview. They needed me for 3 to 11 shift on weekends. And I'm like, no, don't want to do that. And there was another job that let me know they received my application and will be following up with me. And then there was another job that appeared to look at my application but never confirmed with me. So I started to feel a little bit of anxiety. That's my best word about this job situation. I'm like, Lord, I want part time so that I can, but I feel like you're closing doors on all of these different areas. So I want to be obedient to that, even though I'm not sure. So anyhow, they said, well, can you come in to like fill out some paperwork and whatever, whatnot. So went in, met the HR lady. We hit it off. She was very sweet. Um, and she sent me home to do onboarding. I got paid to do my onboarding at home, my regular rate as a nurse, which was nice. And alongside my husband, who's actually switching jobs in his season of life now because he can he can free himself up to be more flexible and to go out and work for more money and work less hours, which is nice. So anyhow, all of this was happening at the same time. It was just a peaceful time. My husband's home, I'm home. We're both on the same journey together, and it's so sweet. And I'm like, oh Lord, but this PRN is still dangling over my head. So I went in for orientation last week. Orientation was 10:30 to 1:30, and still I was PRN. And so after we were done with the orientation, I was told to go upstairs to meet the scheduler. Well, the scheduler met me and we were like, "Hey, how are you?" Like we felt like cousins. Like I met her the week before, didn't know she was a scheduler, and hugged her in the lobby because there was like some kindredness there, which was sweet. But anyhow, she looked at me and she goes, "So what hours do you want to work?" And I was like, "Well, PRN. Let's go. Let's fill it out." And I said, "Well, she told me I'm PRN, so I definitely don't want to do Sundays or Wednesdays because we just started a church. I pastor's wife, and I want to be available to my church on Sundays and Wednesdays for Bible studies." And so she said, "Well, you're not going to be PRN because we got a part-time position open. I'm just going to put you in part-time." Y'all, the peace. I didn't even holler. I was just like, see, Lord, you knew what you were going to do. You just wanted me to trust and walk in faith and not panic and go run to something else. And it was beautiful. And she was like, we can start you this weekend orientating for 5 days. You can knock out this Friday and Saturday with this other first lady that we have here. So she started calling me first lady. I don't do titles. But so I worked Friday and Saturday, 12-hour shifts. And I go back This is Monday. I'm off today. I go back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8-hour shifts, though, to finish my orientation. And I think my first real shift is Tuesday the 16th. But then I'm going to talk to her about my set schedule when I go back. But y'all, when you step out on faith and listen to the Lord, you ask the Lord for what you want. And then you don't trust him because it's not looking like how you think it should look. I think about David. When David was told he was going to be king, right? Well, it didn't look like he was going to be king. It took a long time before he was actually king, and he thought he was going to die before he was actually the king. But he was the king. And so, sometimes when we ask God for something, it may not flow how our imagination wants it to, but it will flow if you trust him. So I went in. First of all, y'all, this place is tiny. It's got 52 beds. The entire nursing home is one floor of a 3-story building. So everybody's there. It's one big rectangle. You got PT in the back, rooms. You have a dining room, cafeteria for the residents, and then all the residents' rooms are just in one square. You got team 1 and team 2. So first of all, it's small. Everybody's on the same floor. The administration, everybody, the entire nursing home is on the floor, which was funny to me. But the entire nursing home is on one floor because there's an ALF and an assistant living, and an independent living. Excuse me, connected. Each nurse, we had 19 patients, and the other nurse had the other, I think, 18 patients this past weekend. The entire work experience, let me back up a little bit. When I was at Publix, I was mom. I was able to pray with people. I was able to just use it as a ministry. This building has the same exact feeling. Like I'm in there and I feel like I've been there before. I feel comfortable. I feel at peace. I feel like I'm at home. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. And then all the nurses are like, this is like a little village. We all work together. We help each other. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. Because you want to go back to work. You want to have peace. And sometimes that's not the thing. But I feel like truly the Lord has led me to this place. And after 21 years of not working as a nurse, I'm excited to say I didn't do so bad. I'm slow on MedPass because I don't know any of the residents right now. But I'm learning. And when I left y'all, the system was paper. Now it's computer, so I have to learn the computer way. I also took a remedial course that was 12 weeks, 96 hours of clinical, and 80 hours of instruction. It was like nursing school in a shot class through Nurse Ed 101, and I'll link that below. They do have a YouTube channel. If you need a remedial course, you don't have to be in the state of Florida. It's virtual. You only have to come in for clinicals. There were people came from England to take this remedial course, which is funny. England. So all around the United States, we had people with us on the clinical weekend. But you can do the entire course virtual. But it prepared me, I'm telling you, for the 21 years of not working. And so as this journey continues, I just want to encourage any of you moms out there who may be in the same position that I'm in. You once were a stay-at-home mom, or you may not think you're a homemaker because you have to work part-time. Let me tell you something. Be encouraged. You create what you want for your home and your family. Don't let social media dictate to you that you're not a homemaker because you don't fit X, Y, and Z. You're still a homemaker, even if you work full-time. You have to create your home and run your home and your space according to what you believe and not what social media tells you have to believe. I'm a homemaker even though I work part-time. But you know what? You're a homemaker too if you work part-time or full-time. Embrace the season that you are in. with pride and joy, with no guilt. Even if you have to send your kids to school and you're a working full-time mama, you still have the time to come home in those few hours before bedtime to create and foster in your family traditions and calm your house down and create traditions, customs for your house. Create a bedtime, create routines for your house to make your house a peaceful place. Just because you're a working mom doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do it. I Before I married my husband right now, I was a working mom and I had a daughter. I was a single mom, but we still created customs and we did things together, and our house had routines and it wasn't chaos. And I definitely didn't go out to eat every night of the week. We had home cooked foods. We can talk about that in another video because that's going to be something I got to work on too, because working brings on new challenges of, okay, mom's not probably going to cook every night, but mom is going to work hard to make sure that we have food, even if that looks like me putting something in the crock pot before I leave. Learning how to use a crock pot timer, because you don't want the stuff to I don't want it to cook for 12 hours. Unless it's something that needs to cook for 12 hours. You know what I mean? Um, just learning new things, new ways to have food, or pre-making food on the weekend so that my family can pull it out and have it. Because my husband works full time, my son works full time, my daughter works part time, and she's a full time student. So our house is busy, but I still want to create a home that is nurturing and has nurturing meals. Now, will I cook or have food every day? Absolutely not. But at least 4 days out of the week, including Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. No, I'm not. I don't really like to cook on Friday and Saturday. Um, but at least, you know, for those 2 days, having things available so that people can make their own food, pizzas or whatever. Yep. So this is the story of my journey of returning back to work as a nurse after 21 years, y'all. And if you are struggling and if you've been out a while and you want to come back in and you don't know where to start, reach out to Nurse Ed 101. I'm going to link their website in the description. And, reach out to Angel or her husband, Marcus. They have a wonderful program. And like I said, you can do it virtually. And it will prepare you for returning to work. If I can do it after 21 years, I'm sure you can do it. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video of my journey and God's faithfulness. I will be doing some follow-up videos on returning to work and what it's really looking like. I did work on my own the second day, but the nurse, she was a little nervous that I wouldn't get my med pass done fast enough, so she jumped in, which I wish she kind of hadn't, but I'm glad that she did, because she didn't want me to like get in trouble because now, y'all, with the computer systems, the time, like it goes green, yellow, and then red when you're running late. So that's inside of the system, and you don't want that on your med pass, because you need to get those people their medicine an hour before or an hour after. And if you can't do it in that window that you have, it's not a good sign of you being a competent nurse or knowing how to have time management or delegating. So anyhow, I will update y'all later on that. But Nurse Ed 101 was absolutely amazing, and helped me in this journey so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it's kind of long and chatty, but it's worth it. All right. Have a good day.